This is gonna be a long ass video. First off, this is probably the most important video I ever done. The Black Mirror rankings I did before of all the episodes than later seasons. Yeah, this is more important because my number one spot on this list is my biggest hero of all time. So this is the ranking of my top 10 favorite magicians of all time. Magicians, illusionists, mentalists, mystifiers, mindbenders, sleight of hand artists, whatever. Endurance artists, escape artists, extreme performers, stunt performances. Magic, it's not real. And when I was a kid, and this is gonna be quite a good story. When I was a kid, I believed in magic like it's real, the tricks and everything, like David Copperfield does, and whatever, David Blaine later, and Darren Brown also. So I believe because I was always into supernatural stuff and everything, like the X-Files television series. I loved that, and I loved. I was obsessed with extraterrestrials. I see some stuff, whatever, in the sky. That's not even supernatural, life on other planets. So, but I always wished when I was a kid, like I had supernatural powers and doing all this stuff. And I was quite into it. It was at one point when I watched David Blaine, when I was in my late teens. I tried to put a coin in a hand and try to get it to the other hand and whatever with mental powers. No, none of that's real. Doesn't really matter at all, but that's I hope things like that should be real, especially with David Blaine and stuff. And later when I got older, I got into Darren Brown. I also thought the things he does is he's faking it. He said it's not real, but I thought he had supernatural powers and stuff. Which he hasn't, but and then he got a later point in my life. Then it's all like it's almost like it's worthless, everything. So what is it? And if this disappoint me, I thought, especially when I got into Darren Brown, those things aren't real. As he said, you can read people like that and everything. Getting ladders, whatever he said, like from looking at their eyes and whatever, everything. So, and then when I found out that wasn't also real, because he's faking it and doing things like pretend to do it in a certain way, but it's really not what it is. It's much simpler, much more physical, not that. And I wasn't that disappointed at all then. So it was like I was accepting it like it's yeah, that's what it is, and I'm completely fine with it. Now I consider myself as a devotee and huge fan of magic and whatever. So when I was in Luleå many years ago, 2015, I did some card tricks, fool people to extremes, and there was one woman who was from Södertälje who said later it was the best magic she's ever seen. And the only thing I did was simple card tricks, fake mind tricks and everything. So I, especially with Darren Brown, I really got into understand how easy people can be fooled, you know, and you can use that to advantage, as I have done before, sometimes fooling people like I have supernatural powers, and I really got into all that fucking bullcrap and shit, you know. I really did, and I fool people to extremes. So they thought I had supernatural powers, but all I did was magic trick, mind tricks, whatever, mentalist trick, doesn't really matter at all. It's all it is magic, illusion, whatever it calls. So, but I always loved that since I was a kid when I thought it was real. So, but now I don't. So, and haven't done for years and many years, over 10 years. So, so I thought I'm gonna rank my top 10 favorite magicians. Doesn't matter, mentalist, illusionist, whatever, it's the same thing. So let's start with this. So Harry Houdini, known as the greatest magician of all time. He's an escape artist. He's in mine because I haven't seen a lot of him. So other ones is Dog Henning. I really like him, and I also really like Lance Burden, and many other long before with in the Houdini era, a little bit after. I also respect. So one here is Chris Angel. So Chris Angel. Well, he, you know, in his videos and documentary shows, whatever you call it, magic shows, whatever, when he's on the street magic, you know, it's fake. Same actors, and I seen how he cuts everything. So fake, and you know, that's not magic. Magic, what magic is for me, it's all fake. It's nothing is real. It's not supernatural. It's showing a person something extraordinary, phenomenal, and they don't know how it's done. So that's what it is, and that's really what it is. So another one is Baniszak, Stephen Shaw. I think he's a great mentalist. Magician, mentalist, illusionist, whatever. Great mentalist, doing a lot of mentalist stuff. Not in my personal top 10 though. Apollo Robbins, famous pickpocketing thief, sort of like. He specializes on that and can fool people and stealing stuff from them, whatever. Security consultant, also his work, and expert pickpocketing thief, whatever. Another one also which is very good is Jackie Yu, the oh my magician. Some of his stuff I haven't figured out how he done some, because they're absolutely freaking extraordinary. So I mean, he deserves to be in my top 10, really. But so let's start with number 10 now. So I'm gonna go with Uri Geller. Uri Geller. He says he has supernatural powers. He has never changed that. Later he called himself a mystifier, whatever. Whatever. So an angel can give you this power, came from another planet. I don't care. He's just fucking lying. But if you think, oh, everything he has done, which is absolutely extraordinary, all his tricks, like when he was stopping watches all over the world on live television and everything. That's just all bullshit, coincidences, whatever. But things I have seen in live performances, yeah, those things like writing the same drawings and whatever, it's quite fucking extraordinary, I would say. I mean, he's a great illusionist. He's known for bending spoons, which is a easy trick to do. You can learn it. It's very easy. But yeah, he is one of the greatest mentalist, illusionist, whatever. Anyways, nothing what he does is real. It's not supernatural stuff, superpowers, whatever he says. But I gotta give this fucking guy a credit because he is amazing. Many things he does. So 9, Lior Sukard, he's an Israeli mentalist like Uri Geller. Yeah, this guy he was one called the greatest mentalist, which is not. And mentalist, by the way, doesn't mean that you have control over other minds, powers and everything. No, it's tricks, everything is magic tricks, whatever, mostly physical, but you can use some psychology in this also. So very, very good. One of the greatest so-called mentalists I've seen, 8, Shin Lim. Shin Lim is a, yeah. When he was on Penn and Teller Fool Us, we're gonna talk about Penn and Teller later. Penn and Teller Fool Us, yeah, this is shit. And he fooled Penn and Teller, so their show Penn and Teller Fool Us is if magicians can fool them, they don't know how the trick is done and everything. Yeah, this was fucking extraordinary. And things he had done since is amazing. And one thing I do always, if I don't understand the trick, I look it up to see how it's done, you know, how the trick is done. And I fool people before I did videos, special and long before, over 10 years ago, and I could remember a whole deck of cards with all the suits and whatever. It's, you know, it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. It's yeah, you train your memory for stuff and know how to cut cards, lift cards, whatever. I'm really into card magic. So, but what I'm Shin Lin, his card magic stuff, it's absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. You know, I couldn't figure out. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Very, very beautiful, amazing stuff. And he fooled Penn and Teller, 2 of the greatest magicians of all time. And later stuff I see he did, it's really elite of the elite. He's one of the greatest magicians working today for sure. 7, Dynamo Steve Fryan, a British magician. Yeah, he's a little iffy. He does a lot of stunts and whatever, which is great, beautiful, great, big stuff, big epic stuff. Especially in the end of his last episode of the TV series. What was it called? But I follow him so long, over 10 years. So his street magic stuff before. He's a really great magician. But I think in his television series, and you know, is some cuts, fakes, whatever, but he's amazing with the card deck and flipping cards like no other, and doing, you know, freestyle card magic. You know, and how he incorporated it to his magic tricks and flipping the deck and throwing it up and kicking with the feet and put it back in the deck. So yeah, he's a very original. He's like a hip hop magician, street man. I don't know how to compare him, but he's very fucking skilled and good. Especially with his cards and everything. Great. 6, James Randi, known as the Amazing Randy. What to tell about this guy? He has beaten Harry Houdini, who's known as the greatest magician in escape artist, beating many his endurance tricks and everything. This guy also over that. He's a skeptic of supernatural stuff. He really don't like it. He criticizes mediums and whatever, and yeah, he's like, he has died, so may he rest in peace. What is done exposing fakery and everything when they with Stephen Shaw Baniszak also when he was younger, and others, and put him into a lab and fool psychologists and psychiatrists, whatever. So that there are supernatural stuff, and then they absolutely fool them, and he said there are no supernatural stuff, nothing like that, and they came out and said, we tricked you, we fooled you, doing physical tricks and whatever. And he said, James Randi, when he was younger, that he had supernatural power, but knew that it would hurt people and everything. Continue with this. So he went into a journey of that's what the Amazing Randy is for me. The Amazing Randy is not his magic, is how he tell the truth and not led people to believe that magical thinking, wishful thinking, whatever is real. I have nothing against religion whatsoever. I think it's me personally, I don't believe in supernatural stuff anymore. I debate it sometimes, but truth is more important, fact than fiction, whatever. So 5, Ricky Jay. Ricky Jay is an absolutely amazing magician when it comes to cards, especially. So one thing, this also isn't really magic, but magic tricks, whatever. He can throw cards, penetrate watermelons, whatever it is, the fruits, whatever, like no one else. He's absolutely great at this. He can give you a deck, make them mix it up however they want, and he can figure out the card. This is also tricks. He knows exactly everything is prepared before, but whatever, it fools people. It's really amazing, this sort of stuff. And Ricky A and his 52 assistants, 52 cards in a deck, so 52 assistants. That documentary, when he did it live for people, I watched that obsessively before. Downloaded from internet illegally, whatever, but watched that obsessively. Many things, many other things. I really, he was on an episode of the X-Files also, so Craig the Magician, whatever, if that counts. The Great Molini, whatever it's called. So 4, Penn and Teller, Penn Juliet and Raymond Teller duo again. comedic. They had their own show before. They do magic like comedy often, like, and they do a trick and show how the trick is done. Later they fuck your head out and do it in a different way. So this is there are fans of James Randi, the amazing Randi, the greatest magic duo of all time, and I really like their routine of the cup and the balls. You know, one of the most known magic routine ever. That's amazing, and everything they do, they show a trick and they show how the trick is done. Then they do it again, and you're fooled. And you know, David Copperfield, the greatest magician of all time. When I think about the greatest magician of all time, it's David Copperfield. All is special, everything. You know, he made the whatever. He made the well. One thing I can say first about, he traveled to the Bermuda Triangle. He made the fuck, I can't remember. In New York, whatever, the Statue of Liberty disappeared. You know, he really didn't. But I'm not even talking about his big grand illusions. I'm talking about his lifestyle stuff. When he cut himself with the laser and made his body penetrate and was cut in half and jumped with his body and holding his legs, shit like that. When he was floating and everything, I know how this things is done. When he was in a glass box and everything, and they penetrated rings when he was in the air. So how can he be floating? Because they show that he isn't floating. They putting rings all over him. So where is these rings? I know how the trick is done, but because I am obsessed of looking up tricks and everything. But you know, this is the most elaborate magician of all time, the most known magician of all time, who sold out in whatever Square Garden, whatever it was, most sold out shows. This is the #1 greatest magician of all time. The #1 of all time, I would say. As many would agree. So there's no greater magician than David Copperfield. I mean, he's a hard-working guy. Great, the absolute #1. But my #2 is David Blaine, the real first street magician. Also known one of the greatest magicians of all time. As many others before in this list, as I mentioned, but whatever. David Blaine is really the first street magician. Raw, honest, going out on the street with a camera, especially in the beginning of his career, and doing tricks, floating, card tricks, which is absolutely extraordinary. My favorite trick of him is when he is floating in front of people, which I know how it's done, and where the card trick, when it penetrates a card, put it in the middle and it penetrates to the whole deck. Not really, but that's how the trick is showed as to look like. And with the guy Fruit Loops, who write his name and do this whole routine, shocking people. And even one guy said he's so magical, witchcraft, whatever. This is David Blaine is the greatest card magician of all time, and many other things. I love how honest, raw everything is, especially in the beginning of his career. So yeah, he may have put in fake sounds in videos, like when he cracked the arm in front of a doctor, whatever, how he twists his arm around. And yeah, this is just one of the all-time greatest magicians, and he also is a great stunt performer. In the end of his specials, he doing this great epic stunts, which most of his special, after like Frozen in Time, Bird Alive, or whatever, this is it feels classic, but also it's groundbreaking. And when he's really an extraordinary endurance artist, so he does this, staying awake for 3 days, something, standing on a pole, and these things aren't magic, there aren't tricks, it's real stuff that he does, and it's extraordinary. He even though I'm more about his card tricks and magic sort of stuff, but you know, this is the elite. As David Copperfield. Number 1 is Darren Brown. When I was younger, in my teens, and watched Darren Brown on television, I never really liked this guy at all. I thought he was so smug, so, you know, and I thought then he had supernatural powers, but faked it that he had them. And I think Darren Brown does, so he says what it is. It's not supernatural, it's nothing, it's just tricks, it's fake, it's everything. But he takes it to a level when he does tricks and everything, and then he fake it to extreme. So this is how it's done. If you watch the video with my trick of the mind episode with Simon Pegg, no, not at all. It's I don't know, absolutely not how it's done, but he says how he puts things to one's head with so they think about things, and now it's not really real. About his live shows, there are stuff what he does with his audience in his TV specials and TV series, which he is known as the greatest mentalist of all time. This is the one. I don't fucking know how he does some of the things. He is, though, he can do hypnosis, so that's one thing, and he's very psychological, so he can influence people doing psychological stuff, and I would say most his hypnosis stuff, but mostly I think is it's easier, it's fake, but that doesn't matter. Magic, you know, it's what is magic? Seeing something extraordinary, and if you believe it, you believe it. That's it. But I think many of the things he says is true, but I think he's over exaggerating, make him feel more intelligent than I think he's extremely intelligent, but make it seems like he's more intelligent, that is more advanced than it really is, but it's not what it says it is. It's much simpler, and it's even not that psychological. Darren Brown is my biggest hero of all time. My biggest hero. Over David Lynch, which was before my favorite director, but since, I would say, like since 2011, so over 12 years, I have never been more entertained, seeing more amazing, astonishing stuff than David Lynch mix it up with David. I have never seen more astonishing stuff than Darren Brown's TV specials and everything. Darren Brown is extremely intelligent, so as he's known to be, he's my biggest hero of all time and my favorite magician, illusionist, whatever you wanna call it, mentalist, whatever, my number one favorite and my biggest hero of all time. So 30 plus minutes now, so as I told you, this is what will be a long video. Okay, but thank you so much. My favorite video I done so far. 30 Black Mirror videos before, but this is my number one favorite. Thank you. Thank you so much.